All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel.
Nice and purdy.
Woo!
T-minus 8. Seriously? I'm trying to talk here. And you just want to play all the time. Like, very, very dirty.
Oh, wow, it's even idling. Dude, that's awesome. We're back on Sand Rat. Rear end's pulled out. We got all this stuff all laid out. One of the things that I got to do right away is we got to start pulling panels out. Got to pull the seats out, and we got to get these 3 panels off because I have some welding to do up in here, and that's where the joint's going to be for the upper control arm, or the upper wishbone. Anyway, wanted to jump right in. Today is Sunday. I've only got like another 45 minutes to an hour I can work today. Unfortunately, life gets in the way with things. So we are, today is a Saturday, Sunday. Today is 10 days away. We leave in 10 days. So, and we still have to go get OG Backbreaker. Ooh, cutting it close. Anyway, I'm gonna get to work, getting these panels out, getting the seats out, stuff like that. So, get to work now. It's time to get after it. So go figure, I set the car down just that little bit extra. You guys saw me pull the drive shaft out. Just happened to be that little bit of angle. Wah, wah, wah. Just poured tranny fluid out the back of the trans. That was like $12, good Lord. Cause this stuff ain't cheap no more. Like it used to be cheap, but it's not cheap. Alrighty guys, Sunday night is over. I didn't have very much time to work. I got some of the panels out. You guys saw that. And we got some stuff figured out on the car. How it's gonna be, where it's gonna go. It looks like I'm gonna have to use this leaf, well, I'm not gonna have to. I'm gonna use this leaf spring, but I'm gonna take out a bunch of leaves to soften it, and I'm gonna have to block it like 6 inches. So that way the spring's down low enough to start with, and so that way I can get the cycle out of it that I want, because as this is right now, this is way too stiff. I'm not gonna be able to leverage it enough because the rear end's gonna be so close and whatnot, stuff like that. But we can always adjust the stack anytime we want. But to initially start, I'm gonna have to start with like a huge, like basically like a lift block in like the back of a truck. It'll be like a lift block in the center right here. But anywho, it's 11 days, 10 or 11 days, I don't remember which. But cutting it closer and closer, right? So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got a different project I got to work on tomorrow for a little bit, and then we'll get back after this one. And I'll show you that project here pretty soon. I got to start uploading those videos and whatnot. But anyway, that's where we're at. Tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, I want to say like T-minus like 9 or 10 days, like that. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Alrighty guys, today is Monday. We have 9 days left, and we are still sitting like this. Regular work got in the way, so late afternoon start. This is where we're at. Unfortunately, only 2 of my heims showed up that I needed. My big 1.25 inch one that I'm using for the top center, it's not shown up yet. It won't be here till tomorrow, so it kind of sucks. But we'll see. We'll see how this all pans out when stuff comes in. I can at least get my lower links built tonight, and I want to show you guys kind of what, like I showed you on the wall how I determine like my drive shaft plunge and my link lengths. But now I'm going to try and show you guys how I'm going to keep the rear end centered in the car. So essentially, you got to have some type of link or whatnot to hold the rear end centered. So you can run like a panhard bar, or whatever a panhard bar. You can run like a Watts setup. You could run a 4-link, like a triangulated 4-link, stuff like that. Another one is a wishbone. So you can build a big wishbone on the car, and then that's your centering point. So that's essentially what I'm gonna do, because I don't have much room inside this car. Like for upper links, like if I 4-link this, like the way the car was for the street, like this is my upper link right here. That's like right in the center of my back. Well, for me to make it where I need it, it would have to be like way over here. And obviously I can't do that. So for me to get the pivot where I need it to be, it has to be up here in the center of the trans tunnel, like way over here. Well, to do that, I'm gonna run a center section down. And then from right about here, it's gonna delta out on both sides to a big wishbone on the rear end. So essentially, very crude drawing real quick with some soapstone, I drew this up. So this will be my front link right here. It'll come down the center of the tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel, it'll go out, and it'll be a 5/8 heim on the top of the rear end over here and here. So that'll be the delta that I need for the strength. Now, I'm gonna plate this thing. This is gonna be 1.5" tubing. This is gonna be 1.5" tubing. I'll have another piece of 1.5" back here, so it'll be a big triangle like this. And then this section right here, where all the stress will be, I'm gonna center plate it, and then this whole thing is gonna get plated top and bottom. So this whole thing is gonna get like one big boxed unit. And all the force from the rear end, like trying to go this way or trying to go this way, will all be put on this point right here. So with all those plates inside, I think that'll be plenty strong. Again, this car doesn't weigh very much, so I don't think it'll be an issue. Again, if we try it, it breaks, well, then it breaks. We'll figure it out later. We'll do something else. But these are my lower links, and they're going to go outward to kind of triangulate what's here. And then my springs are going to go down and connect to my lower links. Essentially the same way I have the front setup with a shackle, I'm going to have on the rear as well. So what's going to end up happening is from the end of the spring right here, going straight down to the link bar that's going to go over here. So it'll just be a big tall shackle. And I can adjust that shackle or whatnot. This spring, because it's so stiff, I'm gonna pull probably every other leaf, maybe more out to soften it. And then I'm also gonna put a lift block in the center mount. I'm gonna make this spring go down. So initially, like this guy sitting right here, it's actually gonna be about 4 inches farther down at full droop. You know what I mean? So that way it still has enough travel to make up the whole overall travel of the rear end. So like right now, the rear end is about full stuff. The upper links are gonna go forward right here, and I'm about hitting my gas tank. Like I can get a little bit more if I change this fitting, but overall, that's as high as I really want the rear end to go. Because if you look at the stagger from front to back right now, like it's tremendous. So from there, my goal from that height is to get 17 inches of down. That's what I figured out on the wall. That's what I figured I could safely plunge the drive shaft. And with where it's gonna mount on my suspension, my bottom link, I'm only gonna be moving the spring like 11 inches. So 11, maybe 12 inches. So I think we'll be okay. That'll give us like a 50% ratio, give or take, 60% ratio on the leverage on the spring. So I don't know, like I say, it's just kind of like the front. It's just a big guess. You know, like the front kind of works. Like we still have to do shocks, which I think I got that figured out. But mainly the rear right now, I can't build that upper until that piece comes in for the front. So what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna do my lower links, get those built out and done. I'm gonna get my mounts down here, all built out for this. I have to spread this guy ever so slightly just to get the heims with the misalignment spacers in it. So those are gonna have to get bent out on both sides for the bolt to go through for the misalignments. And that way it's got enough angle, the dangle to articulate. Because all the articulation motion in this thing is gonna be done by the two heims on the bottom and the one big heim up in the front. all the articulation motion will be out of those joints. So these ones are going to be static. They're going to be in the same spot all the time because the wishbone will be connected all the way across. The front down here, because I have the link going down to the bottom tube, I'm actually going to use like Durlin bushings like this. And these are going to be up here with the bar going back. So that way that bar can't twist. So that's how I'm going to keep the shackle, essentially, the bolt for the shackle on the top of the bar. And I am going to put a little dip in it, and I'm going to plate it to spread the load. Because again, this is just 1.5" 120 wall DOM. It can only handle so much force before it bends. So I'm going to put a little dip in it. I'm going to plate it both sides to spread the load, and that's where my Heim's going to get bolted into. But this is where we're at. This is what we're working with right now. Unfortunately, tonight, I could only do a little bit because Heim joint didn't come in. So we're going to get after it.
Soundstripe.
Nice and curdy. I got my two lower links done. So boom. I just got to make the plates for the sides, and now I have the bolt hole for the shackle. So boom, done. Alrighty guys, well, I'm calling it tonight. It's dark, it's late. Tonight's Monday night, so tonight was 9 days, so tomorrow's gonna be 8 days, I believe, before this thing's gotta get done. So we got the lower links built, which is good. We got the lower connecting points drilled and cut tonight, and we'll plate the bottoms. That way they can get bolted to the bottom of the car, because again, they're not gonna be permanent. They're just going to be bolted up in the corners, a couple bolts in the back, and then like 4 bolts underneath. That should be enough to bolt it to the car. You know, so I can't do the upper wishbone until that Heim shows up, so I know exactly the size, dimension, and stuff like that. That's Monday. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Alrighty, guys, today's Tuesday. We are T-minus 8.
Seriously? I'm trying to talk here. And you just want to play all the time. Really? Like this is what your life is about? Grab it. Come on, give it to me. Good girl. Okay. All right, so I got to play with the dog for a second. All right, anyway, we are T-minus 8 days from this car's got to get done, and we still have to go get OG Backbreaker. So I'm actually going to go do that right now. At least go get it picked up from storage and brought back here, so it's at least here. We might throw a battery in it and just throw some gas in the carb, see if it'll pop off, but you know, it's been sitting for a good long time, so we'll see what happens. But we at least got to go pick it up, so that way it's at least here, and if there's something obvious that's wrong with it, I can get that ordered or whatnot. So we're going to head out to storage right now and pick it up. Alrighty guys, we made it to storage. Let's get this thing pulled out. boy. It's been in storage for a while. You guys remember how it looked though. All right. We'll get this thing pulled out and get to getting on it. Alrighty guys, we're all loaded up, headed back to the house now. Get this thing washed up, cleaned up, and pull the bags off and stuff like that, see if we can get it fired up. Alrighty guys, we made it back to the house. Gotta get the car unloaded, get it all unstrapped. It's really dirty, I mean, you guys saw that. I'm going to try and get you guys out of the sun here. I'm gonna go ahead and try and get this thing washed off today. Not sure if we're gonna put the smoothies back on the front or not. Might just run these tires, depending on how much time we have. I'm gonna throw a battery in it, just dump some gas down the carbs and see if she'll pop. But first things first, let's get it off the trailer and get it pulled over here. But back in the day when this car was built, it's got a really hot motor in it. It's like a 2180 or 2332, something like that. It's a really big motor, and it hauls butt. Like, for what this car is, it moves on along. I remember the transaxle's got some stuff done to it, stuff like that. But anyway, it was a well-built car. You know, it had all nice Neil pedals in it. You know, stuff like that. You know, for back in the day, the wiring was really nice. You know, it has a fuse block underneath right here. Like, it was done really, really clean and really, really nice for being such an old car. But we'll get her back to her former glory. Woo. Like I said, this car hasn't been in the dunes in probably 25 years, 30 years. At least 25 that I know of. It'll be cool to see this thing back in the dunes. Alrighty guys, got the car pulled in the shop here right quick. Gonna get these bags off. Oddly enough, went through all of my keys that I have, and I actually found the keys for the car. Haven't touched this car in many, many years. Didn't even know, have no idea where the keys went. They just happened to be on my full stack of key ring. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we're gonna get the bags pulled off this thing right quick. Probably take the air cleaners off, just look inside, see what's in the tank, and see what we got working with here. So. Not really sure how much you can see this or not, but like, very, very dirty. Wow. Wowzers. Like, ooh, gonna have to spray those guys out and sit for a little too long. Cranks over with no problem.
Alright, so that party's over.
Let's see if she lights off. Now she wants to.
That's awesome. Wow. I can't believe that. Let's see if we're getting fuel through the thing, man. This is awesome. Is there any fuel left in it? Ooh. Nope.
Ready to get it, Bill.
Ooh, lacquery.
Come up with a game plan and know what's got to be done. I don't have everything to get it done.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to drain the fuel system. It smells like lacquer thinner. And then I'll replace the fuel lines, but we have life. It fired right up. Dude, I wanna do it one more time. See how fast she fires up this time. That is freaking awesome. Alrighty guys, so got the gas tank pulled, all the fuel lines pulled off of this thing, and I got new accelerator pumps coming. They're not going to be here for a couple of days, unfortunately. Probably should have ordered those a couple of days ago, but kind of is what it is right now. So this thing, honestly, other than getting the correct size battery for the battery tray or making a battery tray for it, whatnot, this thing's pretty much done. Wipe it off, clean it off, probably change the front tires, possibly. Back tires bolt right on, nothing special. So this whole girl, I'm not too worried about. This one ran perfect the last time I drove it. And heck, I didn't even do anything with the accelerator pumps or anything. The last time I used it, I changed oil lines, oil filters, stuff like that. Changed the oil. I may have done spark plugs. I'm not even sure if I did spark plugs. I'll have to go back through the receipts. But other than that, this thing, I'm not too worried about. Back on the sand rat. So we got the links built the other day. I got the new yoke. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting on the 1.25" Heim for the upper wishbone part. So I can't really get a whole lot done on the suspension links. It kind of sucks. One of the things I can do though is I got the brackets cut the other day for the front pivots for up here. One of the things I do have to do is I gotta get the gas tank out of the way, so I'm gonna pull that out right now, and I might build those other brackets tonight. I ain't got much more time. I gotta get inside and edit this video for you guys. So, but at least I'm gonna get a few more things done on this. I can only assume that Heim is gonna show up sometime tonight, and that means tomorrow, you know, go crazy with it. Should only take me a couple hours to build out the wishbone. I already have the lower links built, so that's just mounting them to the car and drilling the holes and whatnot. So right now, I'm gonna pull the gas tank, and then I'll probably get to working on those little plates real quick, and then we'll call it a night. But right now, let's get the gas tank out. All right, guys, so the tank's out. I'm gonna get to doing the brackets up here real quick. So the way these things are gonna work is real quick, you know, bracket. They're gonna go up underneath the car like this, right about here, something about that nature. One here, and then one over here. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna plate the bottom and then plate the back. The front will have a couple of bolts that get through bolted to the floor, and then I'll have like 4 bolts or 3 bolts back here, and like 2 bolts up the bottom. And that should bolt that bracket on there pretty good. So I have to build the little angle piece, get these things bolted on the bottom, and then I'm gonna plate the front half of these right here, just the facey part of it, just so that way if I hit a rock, it'll slide and stuff like that. Well, alrighty guys, we're done for the night. That is what it is. I gotta get inside and get this video all edited up for you guys so it can be released tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. Unfortunately, Heim joint still hasn't showed up yet, and it's, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, whatever it is. Hopefully it comes today, might show up tomorrow, I'm not sure. Hopefully it's tonight, so that way we can get to work on this thing tomorrow. But anyway, we're still sitting on basically pretty much the way this is. We got the links built for the bottom. We got lower link brackets built. I still have to spread this little bit to get the Heim to go in here. It's not a big deal. It's bendy, not a big deal. OG Backbreaker. Fires up, runs. Woohoo! I got the gas tank pulled out of it. We're gonna go ahead and go through the fuel system on it. And it'll be golden. I don't see this car having a problem at all. That being said, if you guys like what you see, please subscribe to this, comment on it. I love reading comments. Also like that whole thing. It really helps out the algorithm, helps me out, stuff like that. So again, this is all for Merlin's birthday party, OG birthday bash. Well, I don't want to say OG. I want to say Merlin's birthday bash. That's what I want. That's what it is. This is all for Merlin's birthday bash. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Wednesday. That means it's going to be like T-minus 7 days. Something like that. Let me look at the calendar real quick. Yeah. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That'll be 7 days now. So today is 8 days away when I leave. So. We're going to get it done, I promise. See you guys later.